morning to a very chilly and windy beach. Right, I've taken shelter behind the car. It's so windy, it's going to be difficult filming here. Purpose of today's video, occasionally I get asked about the area that I live in. So this morning, as it's nice and bright and sunny, and the seagulls are out, as I'm sure you can hear, I thought I'd give you a quick tour of the surrounding area. Not the town, but it's a very diverse area, and I wouldn't leave here, even if I had a lot of money and could afford somewhere really posh. Sure, I'd move out of the middle of the town, but I'd stay in this area. The reasons why you'll see shortly. But yeah, we're starting on the beach. You've never seen a beach really in my videos, or very, very rarely. A lot of people love the seaside, and yeah, I do. But I suppose because I live so close to it, we are literally a mile from my house. I'm in the middle of the town, sort of thing. It's always here. It's, you know, you take it for granted when you're here, I'm afraid. Sure, it's a nice place to visit. But yeah, there's other places around as well. I'll just do a quick pan round of this area and then we'll move on a bit, because it's bloody freezing here with that wind off the sea. Right, where I'm parked, I'm right on the sort of eastern edge of the town. That's where the cliffs sort of almost finish that way, a little bit further around the coast. But if I pan you round that away, we're sort of heading towards the old town. The black, like tall huts you can see there, they're the old net huts that the fishermen used to hang their nets up to dry and repair and whatever. And that's like the old town. And the opposite side of that bit of cliff sticking out is the, you know, modern town proper. If you go directly over the hill there in the centre of shot, that's where I live virtually, in that area. So it's about a mile from home to the seafront. Pan around a little bit further, see the fishing boats all up on the beach. As far as I'm aware, this is the largest land-based or beach-launched fishing fleet in Europe. You know, there's no harbour here. They literally wait for high tide and just come in at full throttle and ram them up the beach. And there's looking out towards the sea, but not too much of that. You've all seen the sea before. Right, let's move on. Hopefully somewhere less windy. Now it's a bit open and exposed here, and I still can't get out of that wind, so I'm sorry if the sound's a bit iffy. I'm on the edge of the town. I'm sure you can still hear the traffic in the background. Around the edge of the town, the northern edge, is a lot of high ground called the Ridge. It's basically like a long hill, and Hastings is sort of in the bowl behind it. It's wedged between this high ground and the sea. But I'm only, 2 miles from home, probably 3 miles from the beach. The countryside. So whether you want the beach or whether you want the countryside, is both really accessible. I don't know quite how well it'll come across on film, because it's a bright day, but it's a bit hazy. But there's woodland as far as you can see. At one time, this would have all been one massive wood. The Weald was completely covered from sort of the Kent border over to our right, that way for 60, 70 miles, one massive woodland. It was that big and that dense that when the Romans arrived here 2,000 years ago, they actually thought it was impenetrable. It was just too much hassle to try and get through it. So from landing on the coast, they wanted to go like up to London, They literally got back in their boats and sailed around the coast. It was easier than cut through this lot. Now, of course, most of it's been cleared. A lot of farming, expanded into towns, expanded outwards. So now it's just pockets of woodland left. But it was all one massive wood at one time. There is still a lot of woodland out there. We'll go down there in a bit into the wooded area, but before we do that, let's just dip that way about 5 miles, and you can see another contrast to the area. Right, from the town I've come east, only about 5 miles maybe, something like that. We've come down off the high ground, off the ridge. Suddenly we're dead flat. This is the edge of the marsh, the edge of Romney Marsh. This was all proper marshland at one time, but many centuries ago they drained it all, put in the ditches, all that sort of thing to drain the land so it could be used, much like they've done with Norfolk. So if you want marshland, bird watching, wildfowl type stuff, this is where you come. So just outside of town, and this flat area, or predominantly flat, stretches that direction east for about 20 miles, something like that, over the border into Kent. I'll just turn the camera and then you can see where we've come from. That high ground there, that's the ridge area where I was filming just now. You can't see it, but Hastings is basically over that ridge down in the valley, and this high ground immediately left here is the seawall. The beach is just the other side of that. This is Pett level, so yeah, we're about 5 miles out of town to the east. Where are we going next? I'm going to go roughly that way for something that I'm better known for. Let's go to the woods. That way. And now we're in the woods. Now I've come to this one in particular mainly because ease of parking. I know it'd be quiet because I'm in the middle of nowhere, and it's actually a decent size, this one. This is probably 600 plus acres. There's quite a few large ones around here, but I do like this one. While I think about it, I think through this video I'll stick up cards, you know, ones that pop up in the corner of each place I've visited. I have done videos in each location, so if you're interested in one particular area a bit more than others, check the card that pops up in that point of the video. You'll see a bit more. But yeah, we are on the edge of what's left of the high weald. There's just woodland everywhere. So we've done the beach. We've gone just to the north of the town, looking into the countryside. Then I've done the east side when we're down at Pett level on the marsh. This is now on the north side of the town. There's basically, well, what can I say? Lots of woodland. What's to the west? Something quite famous. let's go west. Right, the final stop. I'm up on the South Downs. Now, for people that don't know, the Downs, it's a chalk ridge. Well, there's actually two of them. This is our local one, the south one. It finishes in Eastbourne, so I'm about 20 miles from home to the west. And it runs east-west from here for 100 miles. It's a very popular walking, cycling, whatever you want to do, off-road route, you know. But it's also a very, very ancient route. It would have been one of the ancient trackways in Neolithic times. So there's been people up here for thousands of years. In fact, I've done some filming in the past. You can't quite see it. It's on the hill that's that direction. There is still a Neolithic circle. You can see where the encampment was. There's burial mounds and that sort of thing. But I'll go over and face opposite direction to give you some idea of how it looks. Well, I'm sorry about the wind. You can never escape it up here. I've got the camera tight to the edge of the car to try and shield it some, but how that's working I don't know. Out there is towards home. You can't see it. It's too funny on the horizon today. I can just about make out Hastings where we started. It's about 20 miles in a straight line. From up on this high vantage point, you can see all the, relatively flat land out there. But if you went back thousands of years, all of that would have been dense woodland. So they used these elevated chalk lines to basically traverse east to west. It would have been a lot easier than trying to fight your way through a dense woodland with rivers and marsh and all that sort of thing. It might be cold up here, but at least it's dry and it's clear and it's open. Right, I've got back in the car out of that wind. Bloody hell, it's cold. I don't know what the wind chill temperature is, but it's pretty low. Externally, it's only, 3 degrees anyway. So, yeah, bright sunny day, but a chilly one. So, that's basically having a look all around my area, north, south, east and west. As I said before, I've filmed in several of these locations, so I will pop up the odd card in the, the top corner there, if there's a video that I can particularly find that links to the particular area that I'm in. Just something a bit different today. I had a bit of a crappy weekend. Water leaks in houses are never fun, but gladly that's been fixed. So yeah, not much time today. Didn't really fancy going out in the woods just to have a wander about. So I thought I'd do this for a change. Hope you liked it. Maybe you didn't. Can't please everybody. I'll see you in the next video.